And we are live. How is it going, everybody? This is Ryogoku Kenobi, and I'd like to welcome you to a special live stream. For those of you that may have been waiting for me earlier, a few minutes ago, I do apologize. Sorry, I was running a little late. I was just trying to finalize everything for this video, but we are live, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantasy booking video. And this fantasy booking video will be about a WWE house show / network special that I came up with recently that I believe is the perfect counterpart / substitute to tomorrow night's or tomorrow morning's, depending on, whatever the time, of course, tomorrow's WWE Super Showdown or Super Blood Money, because of course it is the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view. And honestly, guys, a lot of us have said this, that show tomorrow, Super Showdown, is a glorified house show because there is nothing exciting on that card that makes me want to watch it tomorrow. Granted, there may be one or two matches that may be really good, but other than that, Super Showdown is nothing but a glorified house show, headlined by a dream match 20 years too late between Goldberg and The Undertaker, which just goes to show you, and this is no disrespect at all to The Undertaker and Goldberg, but that just goes to show you that WWE is so desperate to regain their audience, to keep, to maintain their audience and to earn ratings, that they are doing a dream match between Goldberg and The Undertaker that could have happened in 2003 or 2004, happen now in 2019 when neither of them are in their prime. Neither of them can go as long as they used to. I love Undertaker and Goldberg, but I do not care for this match one bit. And I do not care for this house show because it's just a glorified house show. What makes me want to watch this match? Goldberg versus The Undertaker is not going to make me want to watch the show in general. You know what I'm saying? So I really enjoyed a WWE Network special almost 4 years ago that happened during July 4th weekend called Beast in the East. It was a special that took place in Japan. It had Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston. It had Finn Bálor challenging Kevin Owens for the WWE, or for the NXT Championship, excuse me. It had a hidden gem between Chris Jericho and Neville. John Cena was on that card. Paige, Nikki Bella, and I believe Tamina had a Divas title match. So what I really liked about that house show was that it took place here in the United States, in the Bay Area where I live. It took place at 2:30 in the morning, and it took place on July 4th weekend. It took place on July 4th, and it was just really exciting to stay up late and watch that network special. That special was really fun, and I think WWE can really benefit from doing international network specials every once in a while. Get rid of a few pay-per-views and make room for like 2 or 3 international specials throughout the year, so that way you have international eyes looking at your product. You want to gain more subscribers to the network. I think international house shows, international WWE Network specials could be a great thing for the network. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, you'll have international eyes looking at your product. You'll gain more subscribers, and everything is smooth sailing from there. So basically what I've come up with is my own WWE Network special, my own international house show, which if I was in charge of WWE, I'd have this booked instead of Super Showdown. So my card is called WWE Tokyo TakeOver 2019. And basically WWE is doing their Tokyo tour at the end of the year. So basically what I did was, since it's my fantasy booking, if I was in charge of WWE, I do one special event on Saturday, June 29th, and it would take place from the Ryogoku Arena in Tokyo, Japan, and this would be my card. It would be a 3-hour special with about 9 matches on the card. We're going to have matches. We're going to have superstars from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT on this card. No wild card rule. Fuck the wild card rule. We're also going to have no mention of Mr. Boombox in the Bank, Mr. Boombox Boy himself, Brock Lesnar. We'll have no mention of him on the show. This will basically be just a fun International house show with some storylines. With some storylines thrown in. Now, keep in mind, guys, when I booked this card, I didn't really put a lot of thought into storylines for these matches, but there are some matches that have storylines that stem from previous fantasy bookings I've done. And, you know, like I just said, and I didn't put a lot of thought into these matches. I didn't come up with many stories for these matches. These are mainly matches that I would, you know, that have Japanese talent in it. I have a few renowned Japanese talent in these matches, but some of these stem from actual storylines happening on the main roster, NXT. And some of these are storylines I came up with just right off the top of my head. You know what? That could lead to bigger and better things down the road. So without any further ado, let's get down to this fantasy book. And my live chat is open. Not sure if I'm going to get that many viewers, but live chat is open for those who do happen to join us while we're live. Let's get right down to business. So like I said, this network special will be called WWE Tokyo TakeOver. It will take place June 29th, 2019 from the Ryogoku Arena in Tokyo, Japan, which is where I believe the actual WWE Tokyo tour is going down. So, in our opening match, we would have Aleister Black, who for the past few weeks on the main roster has been growing impatient, has been looking for a fight, has been wanting to fight someone. I would have, in our opening match, will be Aleister Black versus Kevin Owens. It would just be a hard-hitting, stiff battle. Aleister Black, like I said, has been looking for a fight for a while now. Kevin Owens, what's his moniker? Fight Owens Fight. So basically, it'd have both those guys go out there for maybe 10, 11 minutes. Just go out there and deliver a real hard-hitting match. If I had to pick a winner, I would probably pick Aleister Black to win, mainly because, like I said, he's been looking for a fight. He's been wanting to fight someone for a while now. So, you know, Kevin Owens losing this match really wouldn't hurt him. So I'd have Aleister Black go over in this match over against Kevin Owens, courtesy of the Black Mass. Like I said, guys, I didn't really put a lot of thought into outcomes of these matches or storylines or whatnot. I just wanted to put together a real fun, diverse card that would be a great substitute to Super Showdown tomorrow. So Aleister Black versus Kevin Owens. Good, hard-hitting, stiff battle between them for about 10 minutes, but in the end, I'd have Aleister Black go over via the Black Mass, which would be his first singles win. I believe, no, it would be his first singles win since moving to SmackDown via the Superstar Shakeup, you know. So yeah, I'd have Aleister Black go over on Kevin Owens. Next, I have a 6-woman tag team match. This is a special interpromotional match. I have Shayna Baszler and the Horsewomen, of course, Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke, taking on Team Kabuki Sky. Io Shirai and Kairi Sane, a.k.a. the Sky Pirates, and Asuka. So, of course, like I said, I have a few renowned Japanese talent on this card. Of course, I have to have Asuka, I have to have Kairi Sane, and I have to have Io Shirai. So, of course, Kairi and Asuka are called the Kabuki Warriors on SmackDown. I don't like that name. It's just as bad as the Viking Raiders, the Viking Experience, all that shit with the War Raiders. So, if you guys have noticed, I'm one guy who can take something negative and turn it into a positive. So originally it was going to just be the Sky Pirates and Asuka versus Shayna Baszler and the Horsewomen, which it is, but just in terms of like name recognition, it would have been the Sky Pirates and Asuka. But then I was thinking, well, Kabuki is part of Japanese culture and tradition. Io Shirai, is the genius of the sky. So then I thought, you know what? I can take that Kabuki Warriors name and I can make it better to where it reflects all 3 women. So I ultimately came up with the name Team Kabuki Sky. So Kabuki, of course, representing the Japanese culture, and then Sky representing Kairi Sane and Io Shirai, who are called the Sky Pirates. And then you also have Asuka, who she's not much of a high flyer, but she has used high-flying moves before, like the missile dropkick. So yeah, Kabuki Sky, which I think is a much better name than Kabuki Warriors because it reflects all 3 of them. So Kabuki Sky versus Shayna Baszler and the Horsewomen. This basically stems, of course, from Io Shirai and Kairi Sane's rivalry with the Horsewomen. It would come down to this, of course, Io failed to win the NXT Women's Championship from not from Kairi Sane, from Shayna Baszler last Saturday night at TakeOver 25. But of course, Io got the last laugh when she pretty much put a beat down on Shayna and the Horsewomen once again with the kendo stick. So I thought we're gonna have this house show in Tokyo. We're gonna have this network special in Tokyo. Of course, gotta have great Japanese talent like Io. Let's bring Kairi because that's her best friend, of course, and let's bring Asuka because, of course, Asuka, even though she's been booked like shit on the main roster, Asuka is still a great Japanese talent. So the three proud Japanese warriors, aka Kabuki Sky, toe to toe with Shayna Baszler and the Horsewomen. In the end, what I would have happen is I would eventually have, even if it's for just 2 minutes, a stare down and an interaction, a little exchange between Shayna Baszler and Asuka, because originally what I had booked was it was going to be Shayna Baszler versus Asuka in a special attraction, and then I was going to have Kairi Sane and Io Shirai face Xia Li and Karen Q from NXT. But then I thought, well, why not just have the Sky Pirates and Asuka battle Shayna and the Horsewomen, because it will continue the storyline of Io's feud with Shayna and the Horsewomen. Kairi still has unfinished business with them. And then Asuka, of course, will be joining her fellow, Kabuki sisters and everything. So it would make for a great special attraction. In the end, I would have Shayna and the Horsewomen win, but only by disqualification. And the reason being is I would have Io have her emotions get the best of her again, bring out that kendo stick, just start putting a beat down on the Horsewomen, but ultimately get disqualified because of that and give the win to Shayna and the Horsewomen. Basically, I would have Shayna and the Horsewomen do something dastardly to either Asuka or Kairi, and then have Io snap, grab the kendo stick, beat all three of them down with the kendo stick. And even though Shayna and the Horsewomen win, Io would once again get the last laugh, and that would ultimately, push their rivalry further towards what I think will finally be a street fight or a no-holds-barred match between them at TakeOver Toronto this summer. But yeah, and I just thought this would be a real fun special attraction match to have. Kabuki Sky versus Shayna Baszler and the Horsewomen, because like I said, it continues the Shayna Baszler and Horsewomen versus Io Shirai feud. Bring Kairi Sane back, to reinsert her into the feud, and then bring Asuka along as the enforcer. And I would have a nice little exchange between Asuka and Shayna, because like I said, originally the plan was for the match to be Asuka versus Shayna, with the Sky Pirates facing Xia Li and Karen Q, and what would have been an NXT showcase match, even though Kairi is officially on the main roster. She is an alumna. But yeah, it would be Kairi Sane, it would be Kabuki Sky, Io Shirai, Kairi Sane, and Asuka versus Shayna Baszler and the Horsewomen in a 6-woman tag team match. After that, I have the Demon, Finn Bálor, defending his Intercontinental Championship against Andrade, Cien, Almas, with Zelina Vega in his corner in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Now, the match at Super Showdown is the Demon Finn Bálor versus Andrade Cien Almas for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm sure they're going to put on a hell of a match. That's actually one of the matches I probably would watch only like that match from Super Showdown, because I think it'd be a great match. So basically, I took that match and I just upped the ante a little bit, because let's be real, it's the Demon Finn Bálor versus Andrade Cien Almas. I doubt the Demons losing the Intercontinental Championship tomorrow night at Super Showdown, or tomorrow at Super Showdown. So then I thought, you know what, I want to up the ante to this card a little bit. I want to up the ante to this a little bit. So since they each have a victory over one another on the main roster, I thought, why not just up the ante and have it be a 2 out of 3 falls match? So it'll be Bálor and Andrade for the Intercontinental Championship in a 2 out of 3 falls match. I would have Finn score the first fall, because it seems like usually the heel scores the first fall in a 2 out of 3 falls match. So early on, I would have Finn score the first fall via the coup de grace. I would have Andrade score the second fall via the knees, the running knees in the corner, followed by the hammerlock DDT. And then after maybe like a 10-minute thrilling, exhilarating exchange between the two, crazy near falls, close calls, everything like that, in the end, I would have Finn hit a 1916 counter out of the hammerlock DDT. Hit a second coup de grace, then go to the top rope once more and hit a third coup de grace to ultimately seal the deal. 1, 2, 3. The Demon Finn Bálor retains the Intercontinental Championship against Andrade, Cien, Almas in what would be a thrilling match. And even in defeat, Andrade would further cement himself as a future player, a future main event player on the main roster. And then while Finn is celebrating his victory, out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, Randy Orton shows up and hits an RKO, leaving Finn flat on his face, flat out in the middle of the ring. And then you have just Orton just, standing over Balor's fallen body, just looking at the Intercontinental Championship, picking it up, and holding it in the air, declaring his intentions of coming after the Demon and the Intercontinental Championship. And that won't be the last that we see of Randy Orton. He will be on this card later. But yeah, I take the Finn and Andrade feud, and I pretty much bring it to an end for the time being here. And I move on to something else with Orton now targeting Finn Bálor and the Intercontinental Championship. So there you go. And of course, I have to have Finn on this card because of the name he made for himself in Japan, the Bullet Club, Prince Devitt, everything. Like I said, guys, renowned Japanese talent and talent that made a name for themselves in Japan. So, of course, I have to have Finn Bálor. And, yeah, definitely this would be like – this is one of those matches you have to see to believe. And like I said, guys, I didn't really pan out these matches. But yeah, I thought about this. I thought about like who would be a great challenger for Finn following Andrade, and I thought even though he doesn't really need the Intercontinental Championship, Finn Bálor versus Randy Orton is something I've wanted to see on the main roster for a while now, and this would be the perfect way to to plant the seeds for that. So yeah, Orton comes out of nowhere, hits an RKO, has Finn face down in the middle of the ring, takes the Intercontinental Championship, and declares his intentions to become champion. Next match, and after this match, I'll take a break to go check out the live chat. We have Velveteen Dream defending his NXT North American Championship against former NXT champion Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, sadly, guys, I never got a chance to do my WrestleMania 35 fantasy booking video, which, trust me, guys, I had a huge stacked card for WrestleMania 35. And one of the matches on that card was Aleister Black versus Shinsuke Nakamura. It was basically going to be a match where Shinsuke Nakamura was looking to prove he was the better striker than Aleister Black. He was looking to prove he was the superior to Aleister Black, after Aleister Black questioned if Shinsuke Nakamura was still the hard-hitting king of strong style he was not only in Japan but in NXT. And he ultimately would have been, that match would have ultimately been Nakamura's road to redemption. Ultimately, even though he would have been a heel, the road to Black versus Nakamura would have culminated with Nakamura returning to his original, King of Strong style gimmick. And it would have been basically Nakamura looking to prove he's still the King of Strong style, and he still has, despite all the garbage booking he received on the main roster, despite all the missed opportunities, this would have been the chance for Nakamura to redeem himself and resurrect his career a la Bayley against Shayna Baszler when I fantasy booked Evolution. So in the end, it would have been a very stiff, hard-hitting match where Nakamura would have come up short. But by coming up short, he would have gained a lot of, he would have gained the crowd's, not saying the crowd didn't respect Nakamura, but he would have gained a lot of, basically the crowd would have given him a standing reaction. A standing ovation, excuse me. And they would have been basically chanting, "You still got it, you still got it, you deserve it." And from there, Shinsuke Nakamura turns face. He goes on a winning streak to rebuild his momentum, his confidence, his career, and everything. And then as far as Velveteen Dream is concerned, well, he just beat Tyler Breeze to retain the NXT North American Championship at NXT TakeOver 25 last Saturday. So basically what would happen is I'd have Velveteen Dream defend the title against, I don't know, somebody. And then William Regal comes out. William Regal congratulates NXT. I can't talk, excuse me. William Regal comes out, congratulates Velveteen Dream on being a strong fighting North American champion, congratulates him on his defense against Tyler Breeze, and basically comes out and says he wants some of the best NXT talent to be represented in Japan at Tokyo TakeOver, and he has chosen Velveteen Dream to defend the NXT North American Championship. And then Regal goes on to say, well, since we are in Japan, a country that appreciates the sport and the art of professional wrestling, I couldn't just go out and pick any opponent for you. I had to pick just the right opponent for you. Somebody who embodies what what pro wrestling is all about. Somebody who embodies the Japanese culture, or turn that around, because that would obviously point out that would make it obvious. So I'd have Regal say, I'm picking somebody who has, who has a strong, how does I say this? Somebody whose passion for the business embodies the art and sport of professional wrestling that the Japanese fans enjoy. Somebody that you, Velveteen Dream, may have similarities to. Somebody who may just be like you in terms of charisma and style and everything. And then he'd be like, so Velveteen Dream, allow me to introduce to you your challenger at Tokyo TakeOver. And then you see red. You see just red on the Titantron. And then you hear this voice. You hear him say, Tokyo TakeOver. And then you hear him say this. Rewind, because like I said, I know how it was gonna play out, but I didn't come up with the exact dialogue or anything. But you could have this person, and we know who it is, but as a big surprise to the NXT universe, you see red, you see a little bit of black, and then you hear the person say, Tokyo TakeOver. And then the camera starts to pan up and pan up. And then you see that head, you see that famous hair, and you hear the person say, Tokyo TakeOver. And then you hear them say, Velveteen Dream. And then he turns around, and it's revealed to be Shinsuke Nakamura, and the NXT universe loses their mind. And Velveteen Dream looks up in surprise and shock and is like, you. And then Nakamura says, Velveteen Dream, I'll see you at TakeOver. Strong style has returned. And boom, we're off to the races. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Velveteen Dream. Now, I don't want to say it's obvious Nakamura won't win because it's an interpromotional match. It's NXT versus SmackDown pretty much. But in the end, I'd have Velveteen Dream retain the NXT North American Championship. But you best believe Nakamura, just like Kairi and Asuka and Io in their 6-woman tag team match, they will have quite a homecoming. I'm flying Lee England Jr. out to Japan so he can perform Nakamura's theme song on his violin, because we're going to give Nakamura one hell of a Japanese homecoming. And then as far as the match goes, it's just going to be like Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Dream and Nakamura are going to come at each other. They're going to hit each other with their best moves. I'm going to have Dream counter an attempted Kinshasa into a Dream Valley driver. I'm going to have Nakamura just go old school strong style on Velveteen Dream. Like they're going to just beat the shit out of each other like they should. And then towards the end, I'm going to have Nakamura bang, with a Kinshasa to the back of Dream's head, and then a Kinshasa right down the middle, right in front of Dream's face, but very close to the ropes to where Dream is able to just roll out. And Nakamura, because of exhaustion from all the, from all the energy he's put into this battle, just not be able to grab Dream in time and just slowly go back to the ropes. But in the end, I would have Dream, like I said, counter with one more Dream Valley driver. I'd actually have him miss a Kinshasa and go into the ropes. And then I'd have Dream hit Nakamura with a Kinshasa of his own, followed by the Dream Valley driver, followed by the Purple Rainmaker. 1, 2, 3. Velveteen Dream retains the NXT North American Championship. But then afterwards, even though he's disappointed that he came up so short in such a valiant effort against Velveteen Dream, I'd have Nakamura extend his hand to Dream. Dream accepts. They both shake hands as a show of respect. Then Nakamura goes down to, then he bows and goes down to one knee. No low blows like against AJ. But then he bows. So he shakes, so he and Dream shake hands. And then okay, sorry guys, I was a little thrown off guard. So anyway, so he and Dream shake hands, and then Dream bows, or excuse me, Nakamura bows in honor of Dream and respect, and in return, Dream bows to Nakamura out of respect as well. And there you go. The Shinsuke Nakamura gets a little homecoming, a little homewarming from the crowd, homecoming, so to speak. Whatever. I can't talk today, guys, but I'm just having a lot of fun. And there you go. That's how you reestablish Shinsuke Nakamura as a strong babyface. Even in defeat, he went out there and he fought, and he damn near took the title from Velveteen Dream. None of this, Wuthen is a total diva. None of this, sticks and stones may break my bones. No. I'm talking old school strong style. The Shinsuke Nakamura that took over NXT. He's back, and he takes the fight to Velveteen Dream, and things just go, big things for Nakamura going forward. Sorry, no speak English. Or like when Renee Young was interviewing him, he was like, what is a loss? I had learned how to speak English, but the referee didn't count in Japanese. But no, yeah, that's how I would reestablish Nakamura as a strong babyface. With the loss to Aleister Black, a few strong wins on the main roster, and then this win with Velveteen Dream in his home. Well, this loss, but this valiant effort, this losing effort against Velveteen Dream in his hometown. Dream may get booed because it's Nakamura and he's beloved in Japan, but still, this would be, this would be a big win for Dream, and this would still make Nakamura, and this would show you just how beloved Nakamura is. So before I continue with my fantasy booking card, I'm going to take a look at the live chat, and I want to give a shout out to my good friend Mike, aka the Club of the Man 1993. He's flooding my live chat with comments, and I love it. So of course he has to say, like Becky Lynch, the man is here. He also says he has to watch the first portion of this. Yeah, when you showed up, Mike, you didn't really miss much. I just talked about why Super Showdown is a glorified house show and why I decided to do this fantasy booking. So, yeah, I'm glad that you were able to make it on. I'm glad you're able to join me, of course. When was the last time Finn has used the 1916? I don't remember. I don't remember when the last time he used that or the Bloody Sunday. So, yeah, I'm just bringing those moves back because I hate the fact that, when the NXT alumni come up to the main roster, for some God knows what reason, they can't use certain moves. So, yeah, like, I don't remember the last time Finn's ever used the Bloody Sunday or 1916 on the main roster. I believe the last time he used it in NXT was against Nakamura. Both of those moves. But, yeah. I honestly don't remember the last time Finn used the 1916. So, yeah. Viper versus the Demon. Damn, exactly, because it's a match that's never happened on the main roster to my knowledge. It's something I want to see on the main roster, And ultimately, it would just be a great match of styles, especially if it's the Demon versus the Viper. You know, like the idea I have in mind for this would be pretty similar to what Randy Orton did to Jeff Hardy, to where he beats up, like, he would have to beat up Finn Balor when Finn's the Demon again. But basically, I would have him pour water over, you know, Balor's face paint, wash it off to make the Demon look like nothing but a facade. And then I was ultimately thinking when they do face off, that Finn introduces an even stronger Demon, stronger war paint that Orton doesn't expect, and it just throws Orton off guard. I'm not saying I would have Finn squash Orton, but I would have, this is a great chance to introduce more war paint and more sides to the Demon that we've never seen. So Finn could introduce this new Demon that really, like, steps up his game and really steps up his power, so to speak, and it unleashes a darker side to him. Because when Randy Orton extinguished, so to speak, the original Demon, the Demon that fought Andrade, Finn unleashes another Demon born out of spite for Orton and ultimately born for redemption. So Finn unleashes something new. But Orton's constant assaults, because I would have it to where he constantly assaults, just like the Jeff Hardy feud. And I would have Finn get some punches in it and get some strikes in it and everything. But yeah, like, ultimately, the beatings that Orton gives Finn causes a bigger, stronger, more dangerous Demon to be born as a result. So, you know, that's basically how I would do it. And I would love to see it on the main roster if booked right. Mike also says the Dream versus the King of Strong Style. Oh, hell yeah. What a match that would be. Superior striker for Black and Nakamura is a simple and effective story. Is storytelling that hard, Vince? No, but Vince, you're so damn lazy. Get over your ego. I told a very simple but effective story. Storytelling. Look it up. What do you think of a match between Dream and Kushida for the North American title? I think it would be an exciting match. I'd like to see it. You know, I'm still getting introduced to Kushida. I'm still becoming accustomed to him, acquainted with him and everything. But I like his style. I like his gimmick. And I think it would be for an exciting match between Dream and Kushida. Oh, sorry. No speak English. Yeah, making the King of Strong Style instead of the artist. God, I hated the artist. They got that from the artist known as Prince. That's a Vince thing, you know. I've said as of late that even if WWE wants to do these live specials from a different country, they shouldn't make Raw and SmackDown all about these glorified house shows. I agree. Like, you of course want to build up to all your network specials, but you also want to make sure that you're telling the proper stories and everything. And that's all Raw has been. Raw and SmackDown have been nothing but promotion for this glorified house show. That's why we've been getting such shitty shows. You know, Raws that amount to an F, SmackDowns that amount to a D. It's nothing but filler for this bullshit house show. So it's like, yeah. Like I said, guys, I don't have a lot of stories behind these matches. There are some that have some stories and some that stem from what's happening on the main roster, but mainly, you know, a network special. Just make it exciting, make us want to watch, put together exciting matches that haven't happened, or these interpromotional matches. Like, see, this is where the wild card rule really play into effect. If it not only affected Raw and SmackDown superstars, but NXT superstars as well, here's where the wild card rule would really come into play positively for international shows like this. So then you're drawing bigger audiences, you're drawing international eyes on your product, and you're drawing more people to the network because you want more subscribers, you want that revenue. So why not do it by having diverse talent for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT for all these international specials? This is exactly what how the wild card rule should be. You know, why are NXT talent exempt from the damn wild card rule? You know, I could make a whole video about my problems with the wild card rule and the main roster in general. As a matter of fact, I might do that next week. That'll be like my special rant for the week. Mike says, like in 2015, they had that fall MSG special. They only hyped Brock versus Big Show. That was fine, but they can't have a glorified house show and say it's WrestleMania caliber. Oh yeah, like Super Showdown is not WrestleMania caliber. Have you seen the card? The matches? That 50-man battle royal? Goldberg and Undertaker? Granted, that is a WrestleMania caliber match, but you know, Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley, like, no. Yeah, no, like Super Showdown is not gonna be better than WrestleMania. And it's not big as WrestleMania. Like, that's overhype. Like you said, Mike, hashtag overhype. Like, that's garbage, you know? Everything is bigger than WrestleMania now. You know, and it's like the WWE is so full of their own shit and drinking their own Kool-Aid. They're too freaking delusional to realize their product sucks, you know? This is why I'm doing this. My house show is freaking better than Super Showdown. This isn't a WrestleMania caliber card, but this is a summer house show special caliber card. You know what I'm saying? Knowing WWE, they'd make Orton versus Bálor a 2.0 of his feud with Bray Wyatt. Oh God, yeah, don't. Yeah, when Finn almost was the Pumpkin King, when Finn almost brought Halloween early and was the Pumpkin King, and Bray Wyatt was in drag. Balor versus Wyatt, repeat, that is. And Lucha House Party versus Nursery Rhyme Lars Sullivan is. Don't even get me started on that garbage, Mike. Do not get me started. All right, so thanks for your comments, Mike, in the live chat. Keep them coming while we continue with the rest of my fantasy booking for WWE Tokyo TakeOver 2019. Now, this next match, guys, I'm really proud of this next match. And, Mike, I really wish we could have done this live together because I know you would have loved this. And your reactions, like, live would have been priceless. I really wish you could have shared this moment with me. But you're going to really love what I have in store for this next match. So when I was booking this card, I noticed it was missing something. It was missing that special something. Not saying this card was bad before I came up with this match, but I needed something to give it a little oomph. Something to, like, put a stamp on this to let you know that, oh, yeah, this is... With this card, you definitely want to tune into this. Like with this match on this card, you definitely want to tune in. So it took me a while to come up with this match because I wanted to have a great amount of talent on here. We have some NXT talent, we have some Raw talent, we have some SmackDown talent, and this right here. This is why I'm proud to be a wrestling fan. This is why I'm proud to have the creative gifts that I have. And this is why I'm proud to do fantasy booking videos. So, this next match involves Cedric Alexander. Now, of course, last year I did the Game On or Game Over fantasy booking for a match between him and Triple H at SummerSlam. Now, this match that I have in mind for Cedric Alexander at Tokyo TakeOver would start very similarly to him and Triple H, the build for Cedric and Triple H at SummerSlam. Basically, I would have Cedric build up wins on the main roster, make a name for himself, and then one night on Raw, after Cedric has a win over, say, I don't know, we'll have Cedric beat Jinder Mahal. Okay, we'll just say Jinder Mahal, for example. So out comes Triple H. And Triple H pretty much tells Cedric what William Regal told Velveteen Dream. That for this Tokyo TakeOver special, we want to have some of the best talent from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT represented. And Cedric, you and I go back a long way. You had a triumphant, performance in the Cruiserweight Classic in 2016. And I was there that night when that crowd was chanting, please sign Cedric, please sign Cedric. And I came out there and I saw that emotion in your face. I saw that emotion. I gave you my approval. I gave you my respect. You earned it. And in that crowd, I let them know you're in good hands. And since then, you've gone on to become the face of 205 Live during your time there. You became the soul of 205 Live, a fighting Cruiserweight champion, a strong, well-respected Cruiserweight champion. And that's why I want you to represent Monday Night Raw at Tokyo TakeOver. And the reason I'm picking you is because I want to give you an opportunity. I want to give you an opportunity to write a chapter in your career that you may not even realize has yet to be written. A chapter that you have yet to finish. I've made some calls. I've made some negotiations. Cedric, at Tokyo TakeOver, you will reacquaint yourself with the same man that you took to the limit at the Cruiserweight Classic against the same man who, even in defeat, helped you earn the spot you're in today. And then I'm going to have it say, and I'm going to have Triple H, like he does when he has adrenaline's pumping. It's going to be like, Cedric, at Tokyo TakeOver, it'll be you versus Kota Ibushi. The rematch, almost 3 years in the making, happens at Tokyo TakeOver, a WrestleMania caliber match. Cedric Alexander versus Kota Ibushi 2. One night only. One night only. Kota Ibushi in a WWE ring rematch with Cedric Alexander. And for Cedric, there's a story. He lost to Kota. He never thought he'd get another shot at Kota, a shot at redemption. Now he has a chance. Tokyo TakeOver in Kota's backyard in the Ryogoku Arena. Cedric, Kota, the rematch. Cedric can't let this opportunity slip away. He lost to Kota. He respects Kota, but this time he needs to beat Kota. It's about redemption. And he doesn't care if he is booed. He knows he's going into enemy territories. And he doesn't literally mean enemy territory. He's saying literally, figuratively, he's going into enemy territory. He's fighting Kota in Kota's yard. He knows Kota's going to be the fan favorite. He needs to beat Kota Ibushi. He needs to prove to himself he can match up with Kota Ibushi one more time. This is the one match that I really put a lot of thought into regarding a story, besides Velveteen Dream and Shinsuke Nakamura. This would basically be their first match turned up 100 times. Like, I'd have so many near falls, with the story being Cedric is getting near fall after near fall. He's kicking out of near falls. The closer he gets to beating Kota Ibushi, the more aggressive he gets. He starts just beating down Kota Ibushi and whatnot. At one point, he hits Kota with a lumbar check. But he thinks, no, one lumbar check is not enough to beat Kota Ibushi. They're going to light each other up. It's going to be just as hard hitting as their first match, but like I said, they're going to take it up 100 times 100. Cedric Alexander picks up Kota Ibushi, throws him into the turnbuckle, picks him up, tries to go for a second. Sorry, I lost the train of thought briefly. So yeah, basically, he hits Kota with a lumbar check, but he's like, no. One lumbar check is not enough. One lumbar check is not enough. He picks Kota up again. Boom, a second lumbar check. This time, Kota's able to barely roll out of the ring, but then Cedric picks him, grabs him, like, no, I'm not letting you get away this time. He picks Kota up again. And the crowd's starting to boo him a little bit. Cedric's not turning heel, but Cedric's becoming more aggressive because he realizes if he can't put Kota Ibushi away, he's failed. And he cannot let Kota get away this time. After a hard-hitting battle, Kota's kicked out of his best moves. Cedric's kicked out of Kota's best. But Cedric's really just starting to grow a little paranoid. Like, he does not want Kota to win. So he has to do whatever it takes to beat Kota Ibushi. He goes for a third lumbar check. And then Kota manages to counter it into a spike Hurricane Rana that drills Cedric, then drills Cedric with a reverse spike Hurricane Rana. Hits him with okay, so reverse that. So He hits a spike reverse Hurricane Rana on Cedric. Cedric walks towards him, goes for the lumbar check again. Kota counters with a second spike Hurricane Rana, the traditional style. Has both legs hooked. 1, 2, 3. Kota Ibushi pins Cedric Alexander again in a hell of a rematch between the two. And Cedric, when Ibushi's celebrating, he can't believe he let Kota get him again. He had Kota beat after 2 lumbar checks, was looking for a third to seal the deal and pretty much just put him away. He let his anger and his frustrations get the best of him. His paranoia got the best of him. And Kota countered with 2 quick spike Hurricane Ranas that put him down for good. So after the match, as Kota's celebrating, Cedric viciously, roughly turns Kota away, looks him in the eye, gets in his face actually. Kota's ready to go. And Cedric just, he's upset. He's disappointed. You can understand why. Because he really wanted to beat Kota Ibushi. He really didn't want this chance to slip away from him. He wanted redemption. Cedric then turns away in frustration, turns back around, extends his hand to Kota Ibushi. Kota accepts. The two hug it out in the ring. Kota raises Cedric's hand out of respect. Crowd gives a standing ovation to Cedric Alexander for his efforts. Crowd chants, "Thank you, Cedric. Thank you, Cedric." Cedric takes a bow. They both exit the ring together. Boom. There you go. That's that fire that would really light this card up. Kota Ibushi back in WWE for one night only to battle Cedric Alexander in a rematch practically 3 years in the making. That's what pro wrestling's all about, man. Those moments. Those special moments, that excitement, that emotion, the storytelling. That's a match I'm really proud of that I was able to fantasy book. Cedric Alexander and Kota Ibushi. That would be fucking amazing. Cedric Alexander, Kota Ibushi too. That's like the icing, so to speak, on the cake of Tokyo TakeOver. I think that match alone could promote all of Tokyo TakeOver. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would bring eyes to Tokyo TakeOver. Not to mention that I have Nakamura, Asuka, Kairi, Io, and I have other great talent like Aleister Black, Velveteen Dream, and other talent that I'm about to mention in a little bit. So, yeah, there you go. After that, I have a no disqualification match for the Raw Women's Championship. The man, Becky Lynch, defending against Mike. Please. Sing along with me. You know what I'm about to say. You know what I'm about to sing. I got my blonde hair. I got my blue eyes. I got my big tits, Vince. Becky Lynch defending the Raw Women's Championship against Lacey Evans in a no disqualification match. I'd have them go 10 minutes. I'd have them just mainly fight outside the ring. I'd have Becky, I'd have them grab like I'd have Becky work on Lacey with a kendo stick. Have Lacey. I'd have Lacey grab a steel chair, use it to try to keep Becky off her. I'd have them go like 10, 12 minutes, but in the end, I'd have Becky retain the Raw Women's Championship with a Bexploder onto a steel chair, followed by a disarm her using the kendo stick. I haven't pictured it in my mind, but yeah, after I'd have them fight for a good 10, 12 minutes, use the steel chair, use the kendo stick. And then I'd have Becky use the kendo stick to make Lacey tap out to the disarm her. So there you go. I love Lacey Evans, but yeah, this is not going to be her night to win the Raw Women's Championship. After that, I have for the WWE Championship, Kofi Kingston defending against Randy Orton. For this one, I was just thinking of a strong challenger for Orton, for Kofi to defend the title against, because I wanted to have the WWE Championship on this card. Notice I don't have every title on this defended on this card, guys. I only had a few titles defended, so I wanted to have Kofi on the card, and I thought Randy Orton would be a good opponent for him, given their history in 2009 and 10, and some of their history recently going into Elimination Chamber. So yeah, I'd have these guys go for a good 15 minutes In the end, I would have Kofi retain the WWE Championship. But after that, I would have Orton snap and just go after Kofi, try to incapacitate him. And during the assault, I would have Finn Bálor return in what's remaining of his demon war paint, go after Orton. They'd fight it out. I have Finn hit the missile dropkick, the shotgun dropkick into the corner, try to go for the coup de grace, but then I'd have just Orton get out of the ring. And there you go. Once again, we're moving forward toward the potential Orton Bálor feud for the Intercontinental Championship. And you'd have the Intercontinental Champion and the WWE Champion standing in the ring together. So, hey, that's an awesome moment right there. So there you go. Next up, I have a special attraction match. Now, of course, the big match that's going to most likely close the show tomorrow at Super Showdown is Goldberg versus The Undertaker. I already talked about why I'm not looking forward to that match. I already talked about why it's 20 years too late. But that doesn't mean I can't have Goldberg on this card. I thought about it. Like, I think it'd be cool to have Goldberg on this card. You know, so Goldberg's on the card. So in a special attraction match, I have Goldberg going one-on-one with Baron Corbin. And this match is very simple. I'd have Goldberg return to Raw. I'd have him cut a promo. I'd have Baron Corbin come out. I'd have Baron Corbin cut a promo saying, you know, Goldberg was great in his time, but who cares about Goldberg now? It's Baron Corbin's time. He's WWE's favorite son, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd have Goldberg say, well, it's funny you came out here, Baron, because the big news that I've been looking forward to sharing with the WWE Universe actually involves you, my friend. There's a house show. There's a special event coming up in June. It's called Tokyo TakeOver. I just got off the phone, and Vince McMahon and Triple H called me up. Well, no. If I was in charge, and I was running this, I'd have Triple H call Baron. I'd have Triple H call up Goldberg. I had Triple H call me up, and he said, Bill, you think you got one more spear in you? You got one more jackhammer in you? You got one more ride? You got one more match in? You got one more match in you, big man? You want to take? Yeah. You want to make an impact? It's like how about you leave your mark in Tokyo TakeOver? So Baron Corbin, if you don't know by now, Tokyo TakeOver, you're next. Have Baron Corbin give that look. Have Baron Corbin, not with a scared look, but like, really. Have Goldberg smile. Have Goldberg, you know, have Baron Corbin kind of laugh it off like, yeah. Have Baron Corbin try and come after Goldberg. Boom! Goldberg takes him down with a spear. There you go. You want Goldberg on a Network special? I give him to a Tokyo TakeOver. So basically, there's not really much build other than Baron Corbin wanting to prove he's better than Goldberg. The match happens. Goldberg comes out. Baron Corbin gets in his face. Ref rings the bell. Boom! Baron Corbin starts things off with a sucker punch. Starts to sucker punch Goldberg. Irish whips Goldberg. Goldberg counters the Irish whip. Baron Corbin does his little slide underneath the rope. Slides back into the ring. Boom! Goldberg hits him with a spear. Just like that. Goldberg goes to a neutral corner. Baron Corbin gets up. Boom! Second spear. Goldberg signals for the jackhammer. Picks up Baron Corbin. Jackhammer. 1, 2, 3. There you go. That's the match. Goldberg squashes Baron Corbin in like 30 seconds or something. There you go. Short, sweet, to the point. We have Goldberg for a special attraction match. We have him, you know, crowd chanting, Goldberg, Goldberg. There you go. The best way to make use of Goldberg in an international special that doesn't involve him fighting somebody his age in a match that's probably going to just go 5 minutes and isn't going to be as great. You have Goldberg squash Baron Corbin like that. Enough said. And then, guys, the main event. And I'm excited for this one because this one went through a few changes here and there. The main event. A fatal four-way elimination match for the Universal Championship. The champion, Seth Rollins, defending against Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Ricochet. Now, originally, Ricochet I had booked to face Rey Mysterio Jr. It would have been an incredible match. You know, they had their incredible match when Ricochet was Prince Puma, of course, on Lucha Underground. Ricochet spent some time in Japan. He, I believe, was an IWGP Junior Tag Team Champion with Matt Sydal. Rey Mysterio Jr. did some time in Japan as well. So that would have been a homecoming for both of them. But, of course, Rey was injured recently. And, you know, unfortunately, even though it's fantasy booking, as much as I would love to have Rey, he's injured. So I had to think. So I scrapped that match. And basically what I came up with was this. AJ Styles comes out and says he put up a hell of a fight against Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins proved why he's a fighting Universal Champion. AJ wants more. AJ wants another shot at the WWE Universal Championship. So then out comes Samoa Joe, who's still United States Champion. And he says AJ's had his chances and he's failed. He hasn't received many chances at the WWE Championship, and he's sick and tired of being overlooked and being just left off to the side. So if anybody's going to get a shot at the Universal Championship, it's going to be him. And he gets in the face of Seth Rollins, reminding Seth that he damn near, you know, crippled Seth when he re-injured Seth's knee legitimately following his main roster debut. And then how I throw Ricochet into the mix is simply I would have Ricochet come out and say he knows he hasn't been on the main roster for much time, but people know what he's made of. People have seen what he did in NXT, and he's looking to make a statement of his own on the main roster. And he knows he hasn't earned a title shot, but he wants Seth Rollins to know he wants Seth Rollins to know he's eyeing that Universal Championship. So we've got three potential challengers: AJ, Joe, and Ricochet. And basically, I'd have Seth Rollins actually call a shot. I'd have Seth Rollins say, hey, look, all three of you guys have made a strong point. You all have your claims to this Universal Championship. He could point at Ricochet and be like, kid, I know you've only been here for a short time, but I know eventually you'll be coming for this because you are truly what you say you are, one and only. Then he tells Joe, yeah, you and I have some unfinished business. I know you almost took me out for good. You want a shot at this? You know where I'm at. And then he straight up says to AJ, hey, you and I had one of the best matches this year. You know I'm down for a rematch. So I'd have Seth Rollins just basically call the shots. I'd have him say, hey, all three of you want a shot at me? Fine, let's go. Anytime, anywhere, I'll put this title on the line against all of you. And then the match is made. Fatal 4-way elimination match for the WWE Universal Championship. Seth, AJ, Joe, Ricochet. The eliminations would be as followed. I would have AJ Styles. Here's a shocker. AJ Styles will be eliminated first in this match. I'd have AJ Styles be eliminated first. Basically, I would have him hit a phenomenal forearm on Seth Rollins. And then I would have, of all people, Ricochet hit him with a spike reverse DDT. Or a spike reverse Hurricane Rana. And then plant him with the not the 054. I'm thinking Mustafa Ali for some reason. Okay, so let me rephrase it. I would have Seth Rollins hit I'd have AJ Styles hit Seth Rollins with the phenomenal forearm. Then I would have Joe try and sneak up on AJ. AJ would AJ would be one step ahead and take down Joe. Then Ricochet comes from behind with a Hurricane Rana from the top rope, like a Lita Rana from the top rope. Then hit a spike reverse Hurricane Rana on AJ. Hit the 630, and AJ Styles is eliminated first. AJ Styles is eliminated first in the Fatal 4-Way. That's a shock. AJ Styles is the first man eliminated in the Fatal 4-Way. After that, I'd have Samoa Joe get eliminated. And basically what would happen is I would have Joe hit the muscle buster on Seth and then try to take out Ricochet hitting the muscle buster. So he goes for the muscle buster. Ricochet rolls through. Joe manages to get him in the coquina clutch. Ricochet tries the reversal that has worked before on the coquina clutch. Joe kicks out. Ricochet does like a Van Daminator that knocks Joe a little loopy. Ricochet hits another Ricochet hits an Inzaguri that leaves Joe even more loopy, knocks Joe down on one knee. Ricochet tries to go for a Hurricane Rana. Joe counters it, power bombs him, goes for a second power bomb, connects with that. With Seth still up, he power bombs Ricochet on the Seth in the turnbuckle, so a modified buckle bomb. And then hits a Uranagi, followed by his senton splash. And then I'd have Seth Rollins hit the curb stomp. So you guys have to try and picture this motion as happening. You have Ricochet get buckle bombed into Seth Rollins. Then you have Joe pick up Ricochet, drill him with the Uranagi. And then at the very last minute, Joe goes for the senton. Ricochet gets his knees up. Ricochet hits a super kick. Seth hits a super kick, followed by the curb stomp. Then Ricochet, with what he has left, hits another 630. 1, 2, 3 together. Ricochet and Seth Rollins eliminate Samoa Joe. So Joe doesn't look weak in the elimination because even though he went on a rampage, it took both Ricochet and Rollins to slow him down ultimately and to eliminate him. So the final two comes down to Ricochet and Seth Rollins. And this would be just an insane back and forth exchange between these two. I would have Seth go for the curb stomp, miss. Ricochet hit the reverse Hurricane Rana again. Go for the 630. Rollins manages to get out of the way. Ricochet rolls on his feet. Ricochet goes towards Seth. Seth catapults him up to into the ring. Seth hits Ricochet hits a Whisper in the Wind, then goes for a Phoenix Splash, misses. Seth hits him with a super kick, hits him with a second super kick, goes for another curb stomp. Bear with me, guys. I'm starting to get excited myself. Ricochet hits him with a super kick as he jumps up, going for the curb stomp. Has Seth floored. Ricochet goes for the 630, hits the 630. 1, 2, but then from out of nowhere, AJ Styles pulls Ricochet out of the ring, breaking up the pinfall. And keep in mind, guys, they say that in Fatal 4-Ways and Triple Threat matches, there are no disqualifications, no countouts. I think that rule is really dumb. I think it's really played out. In an elimination match, this is where the rule, you know, is necessary, because you want to make sure the eliminations are by pinfall or submission. So I'd have AJ Styles pull Ricochet out of the ring, throw him into the barricade, start beating him down to the surprise of everybody. Have Seth Rollins then come out, pull AJ off of Ricochet, have AJ and Seth mix it up, and then have them get back into the ring, have AJ try and go for the Styles Clash. Seth counters, super kick, curb stomp, kicks AJ out of the ring. Look, checks on Ricochet. Checks on Ricochet. Ricochet says, "I'm fine, I'm fine." Ref checks on Ricochet. Ricochet says, "I'm fine, I'm fine." They get back into the ring. Ricochet continues the fight. Unfortunately, because of the damage dealt by AJ Styles, Ricochet's not in 100%. He tries to go for another 630 after getting Seth back on the ground. He misses. Seth hits a curb stomp. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins retains the Universal Championship. Might have been a little controversial because of AJ Styles' interference, but what it ultimately does is it establishes Ricochet as a strong future contender because of the fact that he's responsible for eliminating AJ. He helped eliminate Joe, and then he took it to Rollins and almost beat him had it not been for Seth Rollins's or AJ Styles' interference. And I would have it to where even though he's injured, he continues to fight, but then he makes one mistake and manages to capitalize on it. And so after that, I'd have AJ Styles get back into the ring, go after Seth Rollins and Ricochet again. And right when it looks like AJ and Ricochet and Seth are able to fend off AJ Styles, from behind, with a wicked boot of doom, comes Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. The Club come out to fight Ricochet and Seth Rollins and help AJ Styles put a beat down on them. At the end of the night, AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson reunite the Club in Tokyo, Japan. The Club reunites at the end of Tokyo TakeOver. AJ Styles turns heel and reunites with his fellow Club brothers. That's how Tokyo TakeOver ends, with the Club reunited. After all the bullshit booking Gallows and Anderson received. Nerds! Doctors Gallows and Anderson, ring post-itis, all day, all that bullshit. Abs Anderson. The Club is back, bigger than ever, badder than ever, and they're coming to wreck fools on Raw with AJ Styles. They throw up the Too Sweet, and that's how Tokyo TakeOver ends. With AJ's music playing, and all three of them throwing up the Too Sweet while they stand over a fallen and beaten Ricochet and I almost said Aleister Black, I'm sorry. Ricochet and Seth Rollins. Heel AJ Styles, heel Carl Anderson, and heel Luke Gallows. The Club reunited in a major way. There you go, guys. Not only did I turn AJ Styles heel, but I reunited the Club in a way that would really re-establish their credibility and help revitalize their careers. No better way to reunite the Club and to turn AJ Styles heel. He wanted to be the Universal Champion. Ricochet eliminated him first. He was so fed up with losing, he went after Ricochet, put a beat down on Ricochet to make sure Ricochet doesn't become the Universal Champion. Gets into a fight with Seth Rollins, who he still has beef with, and that triggers the reunion of the Club. What better way can you end Tokyo TakeOver than with a reunion of the Club? I guarantee you it's going to end 100 times better than how Super Showdown is going to end tomorrow. There you go, guys. Tokyo TakeOver 2019. WWE Tokyo TakeOver 2019. That, ladies and gentlemen, is not only that's a house show and a network special. That's a house show worth watching. That's a house show worth televising on the WWE network. That's an international network special worth broadcasting. That's something you would want to build your shows around. You want to, of course, continue to build around the bigger pay-per-views, but this is something you definitely want to put a lot of time and effort into. You want to make sure your crowd sees this show. Who wants to miss Kota Ibushi versus Cedric Alexander 2? Who wants to miss Shinsuke Nakamura versus Velveteen Dream? These are the kind of matches and moments you want to see live. This is what Beast in the East meant to me. That experience was so much fun. And I really wish they do another Tokyo network special, another Japan network special. So there you go, guys. That's WWE Tokyo TakeOver 2019. That's my fantasy booking. That's my WWE Network special. Woo! So with that said, guys, I'm going to take a look at the live chat once more before I call it a night. Because I am getting a little hungry. I want to grab something to eat before I call it a night. But yeah, there you go, guys. So where did we leave off on here? What's up to John 15 HD? Thanks for joining. Always good to have you in the chat. Mike said yes, rematch with Cedric and Kota. I earned his approval. That would be a great main event. Oh, yeah, you could probably build the whole card around that match. That could be the main event. You know what I'm saying? Cedric Alexander versus Kota Ibushi too. I got my blonde hair. I got my blue eyes. I got my big tits, Vince. He also says if Lacey Evans were to ever win the women's title, if they're really trying to promote the women's right, I'd have her win by knockout. Not yet, though. Yeah, you know, that would be really cool. She can actually knock someone out with the women's right. I like that idea, Mike. So great job on that. Also, what do you think of Becky's new finisher, the manhandle slam? What is that, like a pump handle? I haven't been watching Raw because I don't give a fuck about Raw. I don't care for SmackDown either. So yeah. Special attraction, Dean Ambrose and Nia Jax. Yeah, right. Now that was just to bury Dean because he was on his way out of WWE. So yeah, that ain't no special attraction. Oh, and like you said, Mike, Nia Jax. Baron Corbin, you're next. Yeah. If it sets up for AJ Styles versus Ricochet for SummerSlam, take my money. Yeah, you know what? Like, I didn't think, like, yes, I love it. Definitely AJ versus Ricochet. That's something I have in mind. But I haven't really finalized if it would be AJ versus Ricochet at SummerSlam or maybe AJ versus Seth versus Ricochet. Or maybe you could do AJ versus Seth versus Ricochet at, like, the pay-per-view before SummerSlam and then set up to AJ versus Ricochet for the title. Reunion of the club, yup, that's definitely, that would be epic. Through all this crap the club has dealt with, they still have Anderson's hot Asian wife. I'm gonna wrap some presents for my kids with my hot Asian wife. Yup. Carl Anderson has his hot Asian wife. Where is it? Where is it? I think it's right here. Yeah. Or whatever they used to say. Yeah, it was the hot Asian wife. And speaking of that,
I'm gonna wrap some presents for my kids with my hot Asian wife, and then I'm gonna beat up John Cena.
Beat up John Cena. That never gets old. And you know what, guys? You know what? To put more heat on AJ in the club, they could coin a new catchphrase. Beat up Seth Rollins. Because until AJ Styles and the club get the Universal Championship, they're gonna show up to Raw every week and they're gonna do one thing: beat up Seth Rollins. And see, that's an instance of when you take something that, even though it was from 3 years ago, it still can work. It still is popular with the crowd. You can make it work here. Not this 24/7 title, which is coming 20 years after the hardcore title when Crash Holly made that work. And all due respect to R-Truth, because I actually like Truth as a person, as a wrestler, he's no Crash Holly. But beat up Seth Rollins, that'll work, especially in this feud between AJ and Seth. Mike says, as always, Robbie, you're a genius, my friend. That's why we like you. And hashtag please sign Robbie. Yes. Hashtag please sign Robbie. Because in the beginning, it was to get me into WWE so I could fix the main roster. So I could make the main roster more credible of a product. After listening to John Moxley's podcast, now the goal is to not get into WWE, but to either write for AEW, Lucha Underground, or NXT. Hashtag please sign Robbie. That's the hashtag. The manhandle slam is basically a simple addition of the rock bottom. Whatever. I like the Beck Exploder and the disarm her better. Hashtag too sweet and hashtag. For that hashtag, Mike, you know what? I'm not going to say it, but I got somebody else that will. You ready?
Beat up John Cena!
Yep. So I'm gonna leave the live chat open for a couple more minutes, guys. Mike, mainly, if you guys have anything else you'd like to say. But as always, I just want to get in my thank yous for all those who watched and listen, whether it was live or after, or anytime during the day on your free time. Just know, guys, I did put a lot of hard work and effort into this Tokyo TakeOver fantasy booking, and it just goes to show how passionate I am about being a writer in the professional wrestling business. And I would love to write for AEW and NXT, and I would only like to write for the main roster if Vince McMahon would not turn my ideas to shit. Mike says, any other ideas you have coming up for fantasy bookings? Maybe SummerSlam, based off of what happened with everything in Tokyo TakeOver. Maybe I'll fantasy book SummerSlam. Other than that, nothing at the nothing right off the bat as of now. But I think I'll do SummerSlam. I think I'll definitely do a fantasy booking for SummerSlam, especially with what I came up with for the main event and for some other things that happened during Tokyo TakeOver. Maybe even book NXT TakeOver Toronto to do just my own little fantasy card for fun. But for sure, I want to do SummerSlam because I think I can really come up with a hot SummerSlam card that would warrant 4 hours. Like, I think SummerSlam and WrestleMania, SummerSlam could be 4 hours. WrestleMania could be between 4 and 5. Royal Rumble and Survivor Series should just go back to 3 hours. So I think I can make a great 4-hour SummerSlam. So for now, Mike, let's just say yes, I'll be doing a fantasy booking for SummerSlam 2019. But yeah, like fantasy booking, yeah, can't really think of anything else. So for now, Mike, let's just say I will do a fantasy booking for SummerSlam 2019. Nia Jax.
Right?
Nothing else in the chat, so I think this might be the best time to call it a night unless I come up with one more thing. Oh, well, you know what? One other fantasy booking video I might do is how I might do my own fantasy booking, or I don't even know if I could say it's a fantasy booking, but I might just do some of how the wild card could have been properly used. Because, like I said, guys, I'm one who can always find a positive out of a negative. But the wild card rule is bullshit. It's absolute garbage. But there is a way it could have been really good, and I can most likely make a video about it. So I'll probably do that as well. But other than that, yeah, I really don't have any other fantasy booking videos. Well, you know what, guys? Actually, I think Mike's gonna kill me for this. I think Mike's gonna kill me for this. And he just said to whoever gave my video 2 dislikes, you just made the list. Yeah, thank you, Mike, for putting them on the list. And you know what? I actually might. Oh man, I think Mike's gonna kill me when I do this. But this is how the King of Strong Style strikes. You guys remember that famous promo Nia Jax cut like prior to TLC, where she screamed hella loud. She was all like, yeah. But other than that, guys, I'm going to call it a night. So thank you so much, Mike, for joining me. I know you pushed back your NXT top 10 list just so you could be a part of this live stream. So we weren't like swapping viewers, trading viewers, like stuff. So I really appreciate that, bro. I'm definitely tuning into your live stream when you go live. And thank you, man. I just really appreciate the love and support. I love you, bro. And thanks for always being in my live streams when you can. He says, I don't know what makes me more sick, my title or when she pretended to throw up before the many times she came out during a moment of bliss. See, the thing is, the thing with Nia Jax is if they hadn't, they could have booked her as a strong baby face if they just didn't do the whole, like, they should have had a better way for her to win the title against Alexa Bliss, or how she could have been booked for a title shot, because basically Kurt Angle just gave Nia Jax a title shot because Alexa Bliss was bullying Nia Jax. If Nia actually was built up to challenge for the title, and then Alexa Bliss felt threatened by Nia's title and actually started to bully her to try to get her out of the title match, then Nia would have been a more credible contender, in my opinion. But that, of course, didn't go well. And then they turned Nia heel. And Nia, of course, not the best at cutting promos. And, of course, she didn't win brownie points well when she broke Becky Lynch's face. And, of course, wasn't doing well with promos, including, like you said, Mike, that infamous title. Keep in mind, Nia also had just lost to Asuka 3 straight matches right before to earn a shot. Right, because Nia tried to win Asuka's WrestleMania title shot. And she failed. So it's like, you're not doing any justice to Nia Jax by having her lose and then just giving her a Raw Women's title match against Alexa Bliss. So yeah, like, if Nia had been built better, then they could have made her a good babyface. And I like Nia Jax. I have nothing against Nia Jax. I know she got a lot of heat for breaking Becky Lynch's face, for how reckless she was. I don't condone that, but I don't personally hate Nia. I think Nia can be good if just given the proper material, the proper training and everything. If she needs to go back to NXT to work on her mic skills and everything, let it be. I don't hate Nia because I've heard that Nia is a very nice person and a very nice woman in person. So I have nothing against Nia. I would like to see her do well on the main roster, but it's just how they booked her. And it didn't help that she broke Becky Lynch's face. So yeah, I know I gave Nia the least improved Wrestler of the Year award when we did the year-end awards. But yeah, I don't have anything personal against Nia, but Nia does have things she needs to work on. So Mike, I'll leave this open for one more minute if you like. Watch Nia's match with Bayley in London to show that Nia can actually be a dominating monster. Yes, I said it. Nia Jax, one of her best, if not her best match, was with Bayley. The story they told. Bayley fighting this monster who seemed unstoppable and just got to the main roster. That was Nia's best match. So yeah, Nia can be a monster if booked properly. And they booked her properly on NXT. So yeah. And Mike, you'll probably like this. I have a friend who streams on here. His name is Hollywood Shono. And he likes to poke fun at Nia Jax. Whenever Nia comes out, to the tune of Nia's theme song, he likes to go, I'm such a fat ass. I'm such a fat ass. Which, that's great, but of course, you, my man, you've got I've got my blonde hair, I've got my blue eyes, I've got my big tits, Vince. Yeah, all right. I think I'm gonna call it a night because Mike, you got a top 10 of your own to do, and I'm looking forward to that. He said it himself. I'm such a fat ass. Credit to Hollywood Shono for that. Yeah, and then the other thing that Shona likes to say, Mike, is when Leo Rush used to be with Bobby Lashley, he used to be like, my man Bobby Lashley's gonna eat your ass. So yeah, Mike, thank you for joining me. I'm gonna sign off now because I'm getting hungry and I'm also looking forward to your live stream. So thank you guys for watching and listening. Give this video a like if you like what I have. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you're interested in more of my content. Make sure to check out Mike's channel as well. He does some great content and prediction videos. And with that said, guys, Survivor One Kenobi signing off. Everybody have a nice night. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace. And thanks again for tuning in to my fantasy booking for Tokyo TakeOver. And yeah, just continue to support my channel, guys. Thanks for everything. Have a good night.